getting ready to play a game of Europe at War 1940 Solitaire from Worthington Games, which was kind enough to send this to me. And I'll put a link to my unboxing video in the description down below. But this is a series of games that basically kind of follow the same mechanics. It is inspired by the old States of Siege system that Victory Point Games made several and made a living off of for a little bit of time. This one is dealing with Europe 1940, and you are playing the Axis. Yes. So you're going to be trying to go on this track here and try to take out Paris and London, and then eventually this front's going to open up, and you want to try to get to Moscow. And then down here, you're trying to get to the Suez down here with the Italian front. But basically, you're going to have, you're going to roll for action points. And depending on how you roll and depending on what turn it is, this is how many action points you get. And these are the things you can do with your action points. You know, attack and move on the front. Try to take out one of the sea areas. There are sea areas and there are air areas. Those are important because those, if you control that area, you kind of modify the attack. If you don't, then that could hurt you as well. Plus, you get victory points at the end of the game. You can move the Axis tank marker, which starts out in Berlin and basically is a re-roll. So you can try again, do a do-over. You can flip over Axis front markers that are stalled because these things can be, where am I at here? These things can become stalled over time by different things. And you can flip an Axis tank marker from refit to reroll side. So yeah, so that tank modifier can be put in refit. You keep track of your whatever you roll for action points. You keep track along this track, and then you execute your action points, and then it becomes the AI's turn, which is over here. And I'm thinking I'm going to do the easy allied actions to start out with. You've got tough allied actions, and then you've got easy, and I'm going to start with easy. See how that goes. And you're going to roll a die and see what the Axis will do that turn. And there's something that does always does. And then if it's an odd turn, it does this. If it's an even turn, it does this. You keep track of your turns down here. I've put some of these out. These open up like this front opens up. The Mediterranean front opens up on that turn. These fronts open up. The Northern and the CS front open up on this turn. You get this extra tank reroll on this turn. So this is basically your turn track. If you get to the end of 20 without a automatic victory, which is taking over those like flag cities that I mentioned before, then you add up victory points. And there you have it. And these are some of the die modifiers based on what area, like if it's a fortress or a regular area, if it's a flag city, or there's a variable attack modifiers. There's certain areas here, as you can see, that have kind of a squiggly line, and that affects the attacks as well. There you have it. Probably not enough to play the game, but enough to figure out, is this something you're interested in or not? These play really quick and are very portable, and I kind of like them. Anyway, I'll come back once I get done. Okay, just finished up Europe at War 1940 Solitaire, and it took me 18 turns to win. A little bit trickier than I thought, and this was on easy, so, your mileage may vary. In order to win, you have to occupy 3 of the 4 Allied flag locations simultaneously at the end of any Allied turn. And I ended up occupying London, France, and Moscow. I never quite got to Suez. I pushed them, I pushed the North Africa Allied back to the Suez, but I was never able to get it over the line because they continually pushed me back or stalled me. And in order to unstall, you have to take an action to flip that over. Rolled pretty good on actions in the first 8 turns. Not so good on the turns 9 through 20. You're kind of that's your action points that you get there, and having to flip stuff over from stalled, and was not able to even refit my tanks. That wasted some resources. Got to London relatively quickly, but then and I had to set that up with the naval and air control. Otherwise, you're going to get some negative modifiers there. And they pushed back a couple of times and had to retake that. This Mediterranean front stalled, got pushed back to Italy, and never got out of there. The other thing that's bad about the North African front is that the Italians are at -1, and so that makes it pretty tough. It was kind of a devil even getting to Tobruk because of the you get a -1 because of the fortress there. But anyway, used both paratroop drops. You've got one in 1940, one in 1941. And there you have it. That is Europe at War 1940 Solitaire. This system is very similar to the others in this line, but given the theme and given the situation, it does play very differently. And I'm anxious to flip this over and play the tough side, even though I almost didn't make it at easy. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching.